is dedicated to all things Mother Teresa, and in the run-up to her canonization on September 4th, we have been sharing with you music, talks, testimonies, event coverage, and a whole lot more. This evening, we bring to you the fourth and final installment of the Symposium on Blessed Mother Teresa, which was held on the 7th of August at the St. Xavier's College Auditorium, Kolkata.
Thank you, Mr. James McGuinness, for stimulating this August gathering with your valuable inputs.
Dedicated to all things Mother Teresa, and in the run-up to her canonization on September 4th, we have been sharing with you music, talks, testimonies, event coverage, and a whole lot more. This evening, we bring to you the fourth and final installment of the Symposium on Blessed Mother Teresa, which was held on the 7th of August at the St. Xavier's College Auditorium, Kolkata.
Thank you, Mr. James McGuinness, for stimulating this August gathering with your valuable inputs and personal anecdotes. You helped us to reflect upon this profound fact that Mother reiterated often, and that is that the poor are great people and very lovable too. Service to the poor is service to God. Thank you for assisting us in our journey and struggle to form an educated conscience, one that helps us to reach out to the poor. May we give till it hurts. The bread that is broken is the one that is shared. I would like to cordially invite Reverend Father Dr. D. Romus, Professor of Theology, Morning Star College, Barrackpore, to speak on a theological perspective on Mother's mission. I will request Father to pay a floral tribute to the picture of Mother Teresa.
Friends, we had rich experience and narratives from our speakers and bringing to our awareness and understanding various perspectives and dimension of the saint designate Mother Teresa of Calcutta. And now, it's my privilege and honor to share my theological thought on Mother Teresa in the context of 20th century, where she began her mission in Calcutta from the perspectives of Christian faith and ethics. To begin with, I assume that you would agree with me to call Mother's mission as a mission of mercy, because she became in our time a heroic witness of God's tender and merciful love for those most in need, the poorest of the poor. I need to make a bit of a conceptual clarification with you about the concept of mercy as it is used both in Mother Teresa Canonization logo and very often we come across. The concept of mercy used here is in biblical sense. The Hebrew word for mercy is rachamim. And this word is derived from rekam, which means womb. To put it, therefore, rachamim into proper English or any other language is not possible. So we describe it, we give a descriptive understanding of the meaning contained in the Hebrew word, contained in the Hebrew word rachamim. It means that just as a mother tenderly loves and cares her child in her womb, so God cares for us. That's a tremendous meaning of the concept rachamim that very often comes when it addressed to Mother Teresa of Calcutta. Now, the work of mercy for which Mother Teresa was called to do by her call within a call, which the MCs do and continue now, are not something new. It is inbuilt in Christian piety right from the very beginning. Then what is so special about the mission that Mother carried on, began here in Calcutta and carried on? First of all, her mission opens our eyes to see, for believers, Christian believers, what does it mean to be a Christian? How we connect ourselves with people who are less privileged or in the margins of the society. That's the first insight her mission of mercy throws to us. Second, but her mission of mercy opened the hearts of many for the cause of the work of mercy in the 20th century, which is singularly known as the most horrible sense in the human history. Third, her mission became a countersign against every form of violence that throws out people to the margins of the society. Fourth, her mission is also a countersign against every policy that showed contempt for human dignity. And fifth, therefore, Mother's mission introduced among us a culture of life by promoting human dignity and respect for all people as children of God. Hence, the Church, precisely it is because of this reason, the Church Universal declares her a saint of mercy, an icon of God's love, especially in this Jubilee year of mercy. I hold and I believe mercy defines what Christianity is all about as a believing community. To be merciful means our willingness to enter into the life-threatening situation of the people, where care is most needed to save human life in a way worthy of God's children. Mercy is central to Christianity because Christ commanded commanded it. Two texts are very particularly important to us. First one is Good Samaritan story from the Gospel of Luke, chapter 10, and the last judgment narrative that we have it in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 25. Very often, Mother used to quote that. Luke's story sums up Christ's love command, and in Matthew's Gospel, we have the mercy is a condition, is a criterion for blessed life. The saved ones are those who performed what is known as the 7 corporal works of mercy, namely, feed the hungry, give drink to the thirsty, shelter the homeless, clothe the naked, visit the sick, and visit the prisoners, and bury the dead, later on added in the Middle Ages. Now, I find these sayings of Christ, as we have it in the story of the Good Samaritan, and in the last narrative of Lord's judgment, as we have it in Matthew chapter 25, contains an ethics. And what is that ethics? I call it an ethics of inter-human concern. It is an ethics of care, where life attention is most needed to protect life, beginning with the least in the society. It is the ethics of God's kingdom that Christ inaugurated and entrusted it to us, his followers, to continue till the end of time. Therefore, the work of mercy is integral to church mission to the world. Right from the very beginning of Christianity, the work of mercy is ingrained in the mission to the world. And this is testified by church fathers from the 2nd century onwards. First of the person that I refer, would you give some water? Excuse me. Already from the 2nd century onwards, therefore, we have that the work of mercy is an integral part of Christian piety. The first witness that we have it is from Saint Clement of Rome, supposed to be the 4th Bishop of Rome. He already advises that caring for the least, caring for all those people who are going hungry, caring for the prison bound, are integral part of Christian ethics. And then you have, I have referred to 2 other persons, Cyprian, Bishop of Carthage, and Dionysius, Bishop of Alexandria. They give us a very important information how Christians particularly involved themselves. In a great plague that took place in the Roman Empire in the year 257, most of the cities of Rome were affected by this plague. Every day, 5,000 were dead in many cities. And these bishops, in their report they are giving, the bishops led their Christians to help victims of plague that devastated most cities of Rome. They instructed them, it is our duty, because the devastated people by plague are children of God as we are. The same report has been further given by Eusebius, Bishop of Caesarea. He was a great historian and great scholar at that time. And he gives us a report, I read. Many, after having nursed and consoled the sick, contracted the illness and cheerfully departed from this life. The best of our brethren died in this way. Some priests, some deacons, and some of the laity. So Augustine further emphasizes tremendous meaning of the work of mercy, what Mother was doing over here in Calcutta started. as part of that's her charism. Augustine refers in his letters and in his writings in the classics 275 times Matthew 25, caring for the least of the brethren, doing the work of mercy. And I quote what he speaks about seeing Christ in the poor. He says, Christ is needy when the poor are needy. Violent century, historians will tell you, with the two world wars, totalitarian regimes, concentration camps, forced labor camps in Siberia, kulaks, Sagi bombing. Here in India, Bengal famine, the great famine of Bengal, and the great killing of Calcutta, and India-Pakistan partition, over 2 million dead alone. So the whole thing, I'm just showing the whole statistic, you just see therefore, of known as the Frankfurt School. Idea of caring for others, human relationality, all these values are very strongly emphasized in the 20th century. And therefore, with a brief, I conclude this my theological reflection on the saint designate Mother Teresa of Calcutta. In Mother's spiritual vision and mission to the poorest of the poor, a religion and humanism, which is open to the ultimate mystery met. Therefore, people of various faith traditions and ideologies were able to establish multiple levels of dialogical solidarity with her in defense of human dignity, beginning with the least in the society. In multicultural societies like ours, her mission of mercy is an important factor for national integration and communal harmony. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Father Dr. John Romas, for your insightful and informative theological perspective. Thank you, Father, for sharing with us your insights about Mother Teresa's mission of mercy, your theological perspective of the call within a call, and what is implied by the term Christian. Mother Teresa's life and work has introduced a new culture of life, promoting dignity and recognizing the poor as people of God. Thank you for helping us to reflect upon the ethics of interhuman concern. Yes, the work of mercy is an integral part.